Hello, viewers and friends. Thank God for you today. Thank God for keeping you alive. And I thank you for this opportunity to share God's word together. God bless you. I have been speaking on this series on blood. I started with particulars of blood, then into blood guiltiness. So I'm still talking on blood guiltiness part 5. Can you imagine that it cannot be exhausted? There are so many problems associated with human existence that has to do with blood, which people never ever say it to their pastors, say it to themselves, confess it, share it, nor had they ever dealt with it in order to gain solution. People are quick to handle witchcraft matters, ancestral bondages. Well, of course, when you talk about ancestral bondage, a lot has to also do with bloodshed of the past. So because of this, the sorrows of man, the Bible says, is increased, and they don't know from where these sudden problems that they can't resolve is coming from. So that is why I was to speak on the repercussion of blood. But when I look at what am I rushing, if I rush and just do the repercussion, I'm still leaving a lot of things untouched. So today, I want to look at murder. Under blood guiltiness, I am considering as a subheading murder. First of all, let's understand that God gave blood and He called it life and calls it soul. And man became a living soul. So He had blood that makes humans eternal. Animals have blood, but their blood does not have the same density and spiritual value and recognition as that of human. So the Bible says that the blood of man goeth downward. The blood of man goeth downward. That is what the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 says. But the blood of man goeth upward. So when a man dies, his soul, his blood goes to God, who gave it. Whereas when an animal dies, his own returns to the earth. Now that is the difference between man. So in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So the breath of God in the nostril of man sparked out something, and man became a living soul. Life activated the blood for the value for which it is. So, because of that, blood became a token in covenant. Blood became a powerful token in covenant. Any covenant that must be kept, and the covenant is expected to stay for long, maybe forever and ever, will have to do with blood. Especially in the absence of people thinking, ever taking their thoughts to have something to do with blood, because they don't think about all those things. So when they commit blood crimes, they don't discuss it. And they believe with time it has fizzled out. But unknown to them that blood do not fizzle out. That anything that has to do with blood traces, tracks, stays. So that is why blood is the highest spiritual token used in sealing up covenant or agreement. That is why those people in ignorance who ate human blood, like this one, a boy cut blood, the girl cut, and they mix and drink or whatever. It's even wrong for you to take your blood. That is so bad. Not to talk of carrying another person's own with his sickness and disease and mingling with your own to take. And this our allowed, will stay forever. Even with that, they still live and marry different people. And they don't give consideration to the eating of blood. That is another way people eat blood. But in Exodus 12, verse 13, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. Now, for the blood to be a token. Now, this token are the secret seal by which covenants are preserved. Today I hear believers say, I'm breaking covenant, I'm breaking covenant. You break the covenant. What of the token? If you don't touch the token, the covenant is renewed 7 times. 7 times. A lot of ignorant things we do in Christianity. And what do we take it for? Hey, Jesus has delivered us from the curse of the law. No. What is the curse of the law that you have been delivered from? That is sin. He has delivered you from sin so that you understand spiritual truth and begin to deal with matters of the blood and do what? Make restitutions, because restitutions are actually God giving you a window to sort out matters pertaining to things like this. Because we know the blood is a token. So a token means if you must break covenant, you must discover what the token was and deal with it. Now, to deal with the token of blood, it has to be on the altar. Because the blood is for the altar. The blood is for the altar. So it belongs to God. So he said, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you to protect you, to secure you. When I see the blood, then there are times when God sees the blood, it pursues, like that of Cain. The blood was pursuing him. And God saw the blood and went. This time it's not for protection, but to demand, to make demands, hard demands that will actually bring plague that will destroy him, which was so. So, today, without wasting time, we want to look at murder. Now, when I talk about murder, a lot of us are saying, thank God, I've never killed before. We thank God for you. When I talk about murder, there are different forms of murder. God himself views murder very seriously. Very seriously. Any form of killing, any form of shedding innocent blood, and even the blood of the guilty, when you have not been appointed to act so, there is a stamp on you as one that has perverted the laws of God to the extent of bearing blood in your hand. When we look at many people committing abortions, I said some people take pills in order to stop pregnancy. And I said, those hormonal pills you take do not stop pregnancy. Pregnancy actually takes place. Why? Pregnancy is taking place at the outside the uterus, at the fibrated end of the fallopian tubes. That is where pregnancy is taking place. So that zygote, that blood mold, is a child. So it is then propelled along the ducts, the fallopian tubes, into the womb. So it is on getting to the womb that the womb raises a higher temperature that will not allow that child to take root and develop. And you say, I've seen my message, thank God for committing murder. You thank God. Why? Because we are not well taught. So we became born again. That doesn't matter. You have to deal with the matters of blood. It pursues you like the idol which the Bible says when you become born again, you should do what? Pull them down, demolish them, destroy them, burn them with fire. So act. The same thing with ancient altars. Act. So how come that you have been shedding innocent blood and you close your minds and said everything will be okay? Your husband closed his mind, you close your mind. After we are now married, after I'm married to another person. No. When we look at the book of Job, Job chapter 3, verses 10 and 11 first. Let me read 10 and 11 first. It says, Job is the one lamenting, because God shut not up the doors of my mother's womb. So Job had recognized that it's God that opens the womb for fertilization to take place. Neither did he hide sorrows from mine eyes, in verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? This is what he said. They would have had miscarriage. I would have become a Miss Mole. Miss Mole means you were pregnant and the pregnancy was obvious, but later on it started reducing without bloodshed, without anything, until it became like a paper. So one day you can pass it out with menses. So Job hoped that would have happened to him, but it could not happen so, because God is particular about what is in the womb. It is life that is in the womb. So he felt he would have died in the womb. Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? How come that I did not die in the womb intrauterine death? It didn't take place. Oh, how come that I did not just die? Immediately I was delivered. Because every soul, whether it is in the womb or outside the womb, is God's. Before you hear that a pregnancy has been aborted due to some medical reasons, some other genetic reasons, that is nature's way of aborting pregnancy, you see some women cry to death. Now, how much then, when somebody deliberately dressed in a house, goes to the hospital and pay and ask that the baby be removed? These were the kind of sins we committed before we came to know the Lord. Now, look at, I want to show you something. In Luke chapter 1, verse 41. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb. The Bible called the womb content the baby. So Elizabeth was filled with what? With the Holy Ghost. And she spake out with a loud voice and said, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. So the baby that is formed in the womb is supposed to be the fruit of the womb, a child, a baby. That can be the president of the world. That can be the person God wanted to deliver your country with. Those are people's souls you must account for. How many times have you committed abortion? That is food for thought. So the baby in the womb, if you look at verse 44 of Luke chapter 1, for lo, as soon as the voice of thy salutation sounded in mine ears, the babe lived in my womb for joy. So the baby in the womb is a life, is a soul, is a child, is a being, and should be given opportunity to come to the world so that he can be judged according to his deed. But while the child was yet innocent and knew nothing, a wicked mother and a wicked father expelled the child into the gutter. They said it was blood. But life is the blood. The blood is life. Life is the blood. The blood is life. This also, in a case in Genesis chapter 16, verse 11, this is actually the case of Hagar. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Hagar, when she ran away from the mistress in her early pregnancy, behold, thou art with child So the angel did not say, you have blood. He said, you have what? A child. And shall bear a son. These ones that you abort. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks. Did you even care to check? Maybe it's a boy, it's a girl. And shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord had heard thy affliction. Hagar was being maybe oppressed, as she felt she was oppressed by Sarah, when Sarah knew that she was pregnant in her early pregnancy, maybe under 12 weeks. But the angel that accosted her to send her back, to return her back to the mistress, said to her that she is with a child. So that abortion you committed, you were killing children. You were killing children. And you have no right to come and protect the cause of children when you know that you have not dealt with the ones who had killed. In verse 16, we actually see the fulfillment that and Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abraham at the age of 86. So that blood mold became a human being that was born. So supposing she had removed it. In Job chapter 3 verse 20, Job chapter 3 verse 20, it says, wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul. Job says, as I am born in to the world, God gave me light. But even in the pains I am going through, because I was not expelled in the womb, it's beginning to be reasonable. He felt the problems are too many. I would have died in the womb. People feel like that. Some people caused the day they were born. People feel like that. But the truth is, God is helping you to understand that the intrauterine life is a soul that must be given opportunity to exist. Let this soul come to life and battle the challenges of life, whether they are painful, bitter, whatever, wormwood. Let this child come and let us see whether the child will not be able to conquer misery, to brace up and face the challenges of the day. But you know what? The child was aborted. And as you abort that child, know that God is pressing a demand on you. In the book of Genesis 38, verses 9 and 10, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his. Somebody's brother is dead, and the brother that is alive, as it was permitted that time, is to go take the woman and go into the woman. So the man knew that the seed is not going to be his own. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Verse 10, and the thing which he did displeased who? The Lord. The sperm has not even gone in to meet with what? To meet with the ovary for fertilization. But he spilled life, because that is a living cell. He spilled it out. Because of that, wherefore he slew him also. God in turn killed him. Now you may say, yes, I've committed so many abortions, but I'm alive. But you are not alive, you are dead. You are, while living, you are dead. A lot of things are deadened around you. That is why life is not working. That is why things are not moving. That is why your children are rebellious. That is why your children cannot make it. That is why a lot of things are against you. That is why the home is not what it should be. That is why the husband, the wife, that is why there is so much problems, confusion of faces, conflict of life, troubles, sorrows, miseries locating you, because you tampered with that innocent thing that was in the womb. That was in the womb. You know that in Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 5 to 10, there was kind of, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without, go outside to marry a stranger, but he has to marry the husband's brother and take her to wife and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which he buried shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refused to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him, and if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. So shall it be done. Yes, in verse 10. And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that had his shoe loosed. So it becomes a proverb, a stigma, a reproachful thing. When somebody will resist to honor as it was permitted that time, as it was approved that time, as it was supposed to have been that time. So if all these things, the scripture records that these are dangerous things, then you have to check your life and look at the pills. Look at the pills you've been taking. Then we look at some people committing suicide. Some people commit suicide. Just like you have specialist doctors. I used to know of one doctor, every time commit abortion. Then he died. He died a miserable death, a shameful death. The mother died, he died. So they had to bury the mother and him together. That is bad. Then his children, what kind of children will those children be? Things can't work out well where there are blood stains, stinking all over the place, tracking you, following you, looking for you, pursuing you, like the blood of Abel pursued Cain. So there are some people too. Sometimes it's also the influence of blood upon. So any small thing you commit suicide, or you deliberate on taking your life. In Deuteronomy 21 verse 23, if somebody commits suicide, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, or upon maybe now they hang in the house, that thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God. And that is what Satan is looking for. He wants you to commit suicide and become what? And defile the whole land. You defile your inheritance, your children. Can you imagine a man who has a home committing suicide? What do we do about it? Nothing. My father committed suicide and and nothing is done about it. Nothing is done about it. But have you thought of this? That the entire household becomes defiled. The family becomes defiled. The village becomes defiled. The land becomes defiled. And by doing that, anything that belonged to them, if you go to inherit it, you also becomes defiled and become abhorred. You become like taboo before God. So you need to deliberately, when you surrender your life to Jesus, begin. These are part of restitutions to be made. Galatians chapter 3 copied Deuteronomy 21:23, when it says in verse 13, Christ had redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, because it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Cursed is everyone that taketh his life. That's what the Bible is saying. So if you take your life, curse be unto you. In Jeremiah 9 verse 19, For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. Zion is the place of God. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. That is the lamentation when your dwelling, when debt, when reproaches, when your own action, when your own conduct, when your own attitude displeases you and you can't stand the shame, and you decide to commit suicide in order to end the shame. No, you are increasing the shame. You know what? There's nothing as rich as life. Because when there is life, there's opportunity for a second chance to repent. But if you put yourself out of life and say, let me go and rest. No, you are not going to rest. You are going to stand that day in judgment, and demons are there to arrest you and bind you hands and feet and take you to a place of darkness and keep you in the darkest dark until when rapture would have taken place. The dead in Christ resurrect. You that died in the cause, remain in the cause until when it is time for causes, for hell, for death, for graves to give out, bring out, for water, anywhere somebody died and was not even recovered, everything will bring out the dead that are in them. That is when you come out. You are not coming to go to heaven because you had missed that opportunity. You are coming to stand in the seat of judgment to give account. And you see people that had horrible lives more than your own, but they made it with God because you don't want to make it with God. So you think that if you die, no. It is actually the beginning of torture and torment. I wish you understand that. I wish you understand that. Because the land will not forgive you. The earth will not forgive you. The heavens will not forgive you. What of God that owns? He said, all souls are mine, including you. You are God's. So you ought not to tamper with that soul. So when you commit suicide, you are just like somebody committing abortion. Then I talk of violence, actual killing, people killing, shooting people. Some people go on shooting spree and start killing people. Some people get angry and frustrated with life and they say, I want to die, but I won't die alone. They begin to look for people to kill and they start killing and killing people. Now, all forms of murder. Some people die by the hands of witchcraft. The Bible says their feet runneth to shed innocent blood, just like those who commit abortion. Now, in Psalm 10, verse 8, he is seated in the lurking places of the villages. That is the witches, where you don't see them. They are there in your village. In the secret places, doth he do what? Murder the innocent. So, witches are killing. Demons are killing. Those who are looking for one blessing or the other, that is money in a crude way, are killing. I mean, everything is killing. This is why the whole world is guilty. Check your life. You need to be cleared from blood criminality. You are guilty. And don't pretend. Don't say it was done 20 years ago. There are no number of years that can sanctify or that can close, that can end the repercussions. So I come to let you know that today, God is giving you opportunity to make it up with Him. Check your lives. Check. And make it up with God. And God will bless you. But like I have always been saying and I want to say, please, if you want to make it private with me, you can send an email to me through my email address, HelenOpai, one word, HelenOpai@yahoo.com. Or you like my page on Facebook, Lady Apostle Helen Opavio. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Liberty Gospel Church Worldwide. Follow us on Instagram, Liberty Gospel Church Worldwide, to receive notifications on new videos. Thank you so much. God bless you. And also remember that we do have Liberty Gospel churches around. Ask questions and know where they are. Get connected. The pastor can arrange on how you can come for counseling with me. Thank you. I'll still be coming your way on this series. Bye.